Ooh, welcome everybody to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here for your Monday Night Raw review for the date of June 5th, 2017. We're coming off of Extreme Rules last night, and of course, you're watching the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. This is your official Monday Night Raw review and results. This is, of course, Joel Perez here, and we're talking about Raw tonight. Not a bad show here tonight. Not a bad show. Not a good show. Not a good show. There was still a lot of stuff that was It was more towards the side of mediocre. It was more towards a 5 than it was a 3 or a 2, which is what Monday Night Raw usually gets. It was better than a usual Monday Night Raw. And the reason for that, and I knew that the minute Samoa Joe won that match last night, he was going to be the best thing about Monday Night Raw. And so far, that's exactly the case, bro. What Samoa Joe did here tonight, head to toe, was absolutely fantastic. That segment with Paul Heyman, which we're going to talk about, was gold, bro. It was absolute gold. We saw a pretty good match here tonight between Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. That was also notable here tonight. We saw a match between Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins. That was decent. We saw a Miz and Ambrose segment here tonight, which was actually pretty hilarious. So there were some decent things on this Monday Night Raw tonight. Not everything was as entertaining as the Miz and Ambrose segment. Not everything was intriguing as what was going on with Enzo and Cass here tonight. But it was better than what we usually see. It was, and the excitement is there again with Monday Night Raw, especially going into next week, because it was announced that Brock Lesnar would be on the show. So as far as your Universal Championship picture goes, you finally have a Universal Championship picture in general, which is a good thing. And then you have your side feuds here tonight. We saw a hint of maybe Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins going into a program against each other. I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, there's a lot of things that could be great going into, well, great balls of fire, bro. And the image for that pay-per-view, what is it? It's 2 balls of fire right next to each other. Jesus Christ, whoever in the marketing team came up with that one needs to be terminated immediately. But I mean, it was a decent show here tonight. Not good, not bad, but a decent show here tonight. Better than what we usually see for Monday Night Raw. And most of the reason for that is the glory that is Samoa Goddamn Joe. For now, ladies and gentlemen, before we go into that segment-by-segment review of Monday Night Raw that we do every single week here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, because hell, there is a lot of it. Make sure to go check out Monday Night Raw and Smackdown reviews for last week. We posted on Thursday of last week preview and predictions for WWE Backlash, as well as Saturday, where we covered all the news in the WWE on Behind the Mic, episode number 22, I believe we were up to on Behind the Mic, and we were talking about the Monday Night Raw ratings declining. It's going to be an interesting watch to see if the Monday Night Raw ratings, after this decent episode of Monday Night Raw, they were not competing with any other sports, so maybe they should be fine here tonight, and the ratings will go back up. And it was a decent episode of SmackDown, Monday Night Raw. You had the fallout from a pay-per-view, so maybe it did do okay. I don't know. But we talk about the low ratings on Monday Night Raw possibly going back to 2 hours in 2019 when their contract with NBC Universal is up, so we're discussing that, as well as Samoa Joe. I actually discussed him possibly winning that match, the Extreme Rules Fatal 5-Way, and that's exactly what happened. And make sure to go check out my Extreme Rules, that leads me to that, my Extreme Rules review and results that I posted last night. So that is up on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel for all of you to check out. So make sure to go check that out, because I put a lot of work into that review, and it's a nice review recapping everything that went down on Extreme Rules. So make sure to go check that out, as well as liking the content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. If you like what you're hearing here, make sure to comment what you thought of Monday Night Raw tonight, and make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. It puts a smile on my face, and it helps the channel out a lot, as well as you getting, when YouTube wants to work, all the videos in your subscription box. And if you click the notification bell, if YouTube wants to work, there is a chance that you will get the notification straight to your mobile device. So make sure to do all that good stuff. For now, let's go right into the Monday Night Raw review for the date of May 5th, 2017, or June 5th, 2017. I am a retard, but let's go into the review. They were live here tonight from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I don't know where WWE finds all these remote cities that I've never heard of, but they were a good crowd. You can't shit on Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania after this show. They were a pretty damn good crowd. They were receptive to what was going on in that ring. They were not sitting on their hands. They didn't get a bad edition of Monday Night Raw like most cities do. So, I mean, they have a reason for not sitting on their hands all night, but it was a decent show here tonight. The show began with Bray Wyatt coming out and saying the same goddamn shit that he says every single week on Monday Night Raw, yet every single time he still ends up losing, and that's exactly what happens here tonight. But what do you expect, bro? He was in the ring with Roman Reigns, bro. Roman goddamn Reigns. But the show starts off with Bray Wyatt spewing the same crap at you. I'm the eater of worlds. No, bro. You're the eater of pins, bro. And if you ask Vince McMahon or Kevin Dunn, you're the eater of turkey sandwiches, bro. So, Bray Wyatt, you are no eater of worlds, bro. You're the eater of Subway sandwiches, according to Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon. And that's why they have you lose every goddamn week, which is frustrating. But Wyatt, he comes out and he says that last night was the beginning of the end, but he is still here and he is still the God he has always been. God of what, bro? God of what? But he says everyone from their match last night is guilty of robbing him the chance to face the Beast. It almost seems like he got a babyface reaction for this promo. He got a nice babyface reaction last week or last night, I should say, for Extreme Rules. So Bray Wyatt's always getting a babyface reaction. The people like him, bro, which is a reason for me to ask you why this guy isn't holding a goddamn title. Why this guy is getting pinned every week. Why this guy is being treated like absolute trash when the crowd is obviously receptive to him, when he's obviously very, very unique and very, very dynamic inside that ring and with his promo ability. So where's the dilemma, bro? Where's the dilemma? Why is Bray Wyatt losing every week? And he put on a damn good match with Roman Reigns here tonight. But he says Reigns, Rollins, Joe, and Balor must all be punished. And it will start here tonight with Roman Reigns. Obviously, this brings out the big dog, and he makes this slow-ass walk down to a chorus of boos, and he stands there as the kids chant, "Let's go Roman," and the adults chant, "Roman sucks," or the kids and the women chant, "Let's go Roman," and the men chant, "Roman sucks." he says that those chants are why he is the guy. And he punches Bray Wyatt for running his mouth in his yard. Same corny little catchphrases he has every week. But Roman didn't say much because Wyatt got back in the ring and he started the match. So they actually started off Monday Night Raw with a match here tonight. And that actually had me pretty happy, bro, because they never start Monday Night Raw off with a match. But you need to consider that this is a Roman Reigns match that they're starting off Monday Night Raw with. And that obviously means that there's an asterisk next to this match, which was pretty good. Like I said before, very, very good match here tonight. But, I mean, again, Roman Reigns, that asterisk next to every single match that is good. Roman Reigns wins, bro. No reason to lie. This was a damn good match, but there's always that asterisk next to the Roman Reigns match, and it's the fact that he buries, and I hate using that term loosely, but I'm using it here tonight, he buries every guy he steps in that ring with. Beat Seth Rollins last week, the other week he beat Finn Balor, and tonight he beat Bray Wyatt. He's quickly running his way down the list of names who were in that Fatal 5-Way, and what worries me is that Samoa Joe is the only one left. So Bray Wyatt's claiming he's going to run through everybody in that Fatal 5-Way. No, bro. Roman Reigns is winning that race. He's going down the list quite quickly, bro. This guy has not been pinned in God knows how long, and it is frustrating. We saw a damn good match here, though. That's not to be lied about. And we saw a lot of great spots in this match. We saw a huge clothesline, or a drive-by, followed by a huge clothesline from Bray Wyatt. Cool spot there. A spot where Wyatt had Reigns positioned on the top rope, and he was teeing off on Roman Reigns until Reigns slipped under Wyatt and hit a huge sit-out powerbomb, which looked absolutely great. And that just leaves me questioning, bro. Why does Monday Night Raw not start off the show with a barn burner of a match like this every goddamn week? I mean, this is the time where the crowd is most receptive to what is going on in that ring there. Fresh. They just got to the arena. They came, they paid their tickets. They've probably been waiting to come to Raw. I don't know who'd be waiting excitedly to come to Monday Night Raw, considering the quality of television. But I mean, the atmosphere in the arena is great. You're just sitting down. You're like, oh shit, let's go. Monday Night Raw. Fireworks are going off. Music is playing. Superstars who a lot of people who don't come to these shows haven't seen before. Everybody's happy to be there at the beginning of the show. If the show turns out like crap, they'll shut the hell up and sit on their hands all show, which is usually what happens on Monday Night Raw. But when you put on a match to start the show, everybody's like awake. Everybody's awake. And that made this match a lot better. The crowd was awake. We've seen a match on Monday Night Raw that didn't come 20, 30 minutes after the show had already started. It was a quick 8-minute segment, bro. You saw the intro of the show. 7-8-minute segment match, and it's a damn good match as well. Maybe 1 or 2 commercial breaks in between, and you're done. And you're done. I don't understand why you can't use that formula every goddamn week. I don't understand why you need to have a promo before this, bro. Why does the promo always need to start Monday Night Raw? Why can't you just start Raw with this guy coming out, that guy coming out, we have a match scheduled, let's fight, bro? Because this is a wrestling show, bro. This is a wrestling show. When are we ever going to start the show with some wrestling? Today we came near that. They gave us a small segment, and we were into the match already. We came near that, but I want to see it Raw, where we can start the show with a match. No promo. You could have all your promos after that crap, but when are we going to start Monday Night Raw with a match? That's what I'm wondering, bro. That is what I'm wondering, because it seems like, quite honestly, it's never going to happen. But we did start Monday Night Raw with something close to a match. But, then again, you could be considering the fact that Monday Night Raw just put this match on in the beginning because they know they get the biggest rating at the start of the show, and they just want to showcase Roman. That could still be the reason. If you want to put your little conspiracy theories to the test right there, that could be the reason they put Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt on at the very beginning of the show. They know that people are most excited. People are watching the show most at the beginning, at the top of that hour, and they just put Roman Reigns there to just be a caveat right there so everybody could see. So that could very well be the reason, the only reason we started Raw off with a matchup here tonight. But besides that, it was a very good matchup, and I'm glad it came near to starting the show. Let's move on here. Enzo and Cass are interviewed by Charlie Caruso, talking about the attack of Enzo Amore, with Enzo responding saying that he doesn't know who it is, and you might as well take that gel off of Corey Graves' head, because nobody got the scoop, and nobody, or no one, is happy about it. Cass says that for those people saying it was him, he's extremely offended by that statement, saying that Enzo is like a little brother to him, and he would never do something like that to him, saying that tonight he is watching over Enzo and not keeping an eye off of him all night long. So we will continue that. That's an ongoing storyline throughout the night, but we'll continue that later on in the night, because that does end up being interesting. We then go to Kurt Angle, and he's reading off of his phone once again, distracted, saying, I can't believe this. He says, I can't believe this, with Alexa Bliss walking, and Alexa Bliss says that tonight she wants to celebrate her life, saying that tonight she wants to have an Alexa Bliss This Is My Life segment, with Kurt Angle saying, and he takes a direct shot, I started dying at this because it is so true, and Monday Night Raw, and the people who wrote Monday Night Raw know that that segment was terrible. Vince McMahon knows that that segment was terrible. I don't know, but maybe even Kevin Dunn knows that that segment is terrible, and Kurt Angle took a shot at the segment, saying that last week, Bayley, This Is Your Life was one of the worst Monday Night Raw segments of all time, bro. And, I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Kurt Angle got a brain right there, bro. That shit was terrible. But he brings up her promise to Nia Jax of a women's title shot when she was done with Bayley. So tonight, she's defending her women's title against Nia Jax, bro. This is a small little nitpick. Probably not even a small little nitpick. But you're telling me Alexa Bliss has to defend her championship 2 times in 24 hours, bro? Yet Brock Lesnar doesn't need to defend his title for 90 goddamn days? Where does that add up, bro? Where does that add up? I don't know, but by the time we reach Great Balls of Fire, it's going to be 90 days since Brock Lesnar won the championship, and he has not defended it. So, I'm just saying that, bro. I'm just saying that. Isn't that an interesting fact? Your women's champion has to defend her title twice in 24 hours, yet your Universal Champion is not leading by example, as he only has to defend it once every 90 days, or 3 goddamn months, which is absolutely despicable, but I mean, that's the way things work, isn't it? But, Elias Samson sings a beautiful song, which is unfortunately interrupted by Dean Ambrose, who beats the crap out of Samson, which I didn't like, and he throws him over the barricade, saying that he's out here for only one reason, and that's because he wants The Miz and his IC title match, and he wants it right now. Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to continue this Miz Ambrose feud, but the way they went with it tonight was absolutely hilarious. We're going to talk about that segment later. But The Miz, he appears on screen saying that he's going to have his Intercontinental title reunion tour celebration tonight, so there's no space for an Intercontinental title rematch, which Elias Samson then comes back from behind Ambrose, hitting him with the cross neck breaker. So, I mean, why can't we go into a feud between Elias Samson and Dean Ambrose? Why not have that Intercontinental Championship match culminate next week? Maybe Elias Samson screws over Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose goes into a feud with Elias Samson, and you want to know what you can do with The Miz? Austin Aries. Austin Aries, he's lost his opportunity for that Cruiserweight Championship. He tweeted out that last night's loss was disappointing and he needs to reevaluate his career. Maybe that reevaluation means going after different titles. Why not have Austin Aries, I should say, go against The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship? I think that can be a very, very entertaining feud right there. Austin Aries is great in the ring, and I feel like Austin Aries could bring The Miz to a fantastic match if you ask me, bro. So I say Austin Aries and The Miz, because I really can't imagine anybody else going against The Miz. I damn sure don't want to see Roman Reigns winning the Intercontinental Championship, which was rumored a couple months back, or a month or two back, I should say. Or Seth Rollins versus The Miz. I don't know how that would work. Just all these top guys, the guys who were in the Fatal 5-Way, I really can't imagine them interjecting themselves with The Miz. And I really don't want this Miz-Ambrose feud to be extended all the way to Great Balls of Fire. I say Elias Sampson builds towards Great Balls of Fire with Dean Ambrose. At that pay-per-view, he gets a big win over Dean Ambrose. You could call it an upset win or whatever. And have Miz go into a different program after next week with Austin Aries, is what I say you do. Because after tonight, really, I'm not sure, with all the material these guys have done on Smackdown and Raw, I'm not sure these guys can continue their feud, but we'll talk about that. I think tonight they reached the peak, and you just end it at the peak. Don't go any more than that, because I feel like if you don't pull the trigger on that Intercontinental title rematch after next week and you stretch this out for 5 weeks until Great Balls of Fire, this is just going to go overly long, and it's just going to be one of those things on Raw that we're just saying, Jesus Christ, get rid of this. But we'll talk about it. Dean Ambrose, after the break, after we come back from this, Dean Ambrose is looking to negotiate with Kurt Angle on an Intercontinental Championship rematch, saying that Kurt could send a ref to Miz's locker room and they could have the match there. Angle informs Ambrose that the celebration has already been negotiated, and it was even set up by Maurice, who is someone Angle doesn't want to argue with, so he tells Ambrose that the best thing he could do is leave the building. So that's what Ambrose did, but that continues later on in the night, and we'll talk about it. On to the best segment of the night. On to what was by far the best segment of the night. There's no arguments, there's no ands or buts. This was the best segment of the night. Samoa Joe comes out and takes the mic, saying that he's going to make this very simple. Standing in front of you is a man who is not afraid of Brock Lesnar. He says that he is incapable of fearing Brock Lesnar because he is envious of everything Lesnar has. He wants Lesnar's schedule where he doesn't have to stand in front of these people every week and he just comes in once a month or twice a month or 3 times or whatever it may be and beats people up. He says he wants Brock Lesnar's ability to soak fear in his opponents. He wants Paul Heyman running his errands, cutting his promos, setting up his matches. But most importantly of all, he wants Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship. And in 5 weeks at Great Balls of Fire, he has his opportunity to take Lesnar's championship. And that brings out Paul Heyman, saying that there's a man in that ring that ate through 4 other men last night to earn his championship shot. A man who has stepped through and become successful everywhere he has been. In that ring is Samoa Joe. Paul Heyman says that Brock Lesnar doesn't fear Joe either, saying that he thinks Joe likes the fact that Lesnar doesn't fear him. He says that his job is to worry, but it doesn't matter who it is. Brock always assuages his expectations, whether it's John Cena, The Rock, The Undertaker. It doesn't matter how ruthless, it doesn't matter how aggressive or how tough. He says a couple weeks ago, he came out and said that Finn Balor was the best case scenario. It was the most marketable match, the Demon versus the Beast. But Samoa Joe is the worst case scenario because he knows that even if Brock Lesnar once again assuages him and beats Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is going to go into that ring and he's going to take a piece of Brock Lesnar with him. Brock will not walk out the same, so Heyman extends his hand and, of course, Samoa Joe accepts the challenge. Joe shakes Heyman's hand, but not before backing him up and explaining to Heyman that he's going to lock his arm around his neck and Heyman is going to feel excruciating pain. He tells Heyman to describe the feeling because this is a direct message to Brock Lesnar. He wants Paul Heyman to describe the feeling to Brock Lesnar in excruciating detail, like only Paul Heyman can. He explains to Paul that this is not personal, but he then locks the COQUINA clutch on Paul Heyman as multiple referees come out to break it up. The crowd starts chanting, "We want Brock! We want Brock!" And Joe beautifully picks up the mic saying, "I want him too." Gold! That is all I have to say, bro. Gold. I cannot do this segment any justice. I probably did read it well, but because I'm awesome. But anyways, I'm an asshole. But anyways, this segment was gold. If you needed any confirmation that Samoa Joe was a badass, legitimate, kick-ass machine, bro, you got it right here. And if you needed any confirmation, first of all, you're a clown and a retard. Second of all, you got your proof here tonight. That segment was legitimately wonderful, bro. Wonderful. The intensity that Samoa Joe brought to that segment. I just started maniacally laughing when I saw that. I'm like, ha 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 ha. Samoa Joe is such a badass heel, bro. You cannot get any more badass than Samoa Joe, bro. There's no more getting badass than Samoa Joe. And what he did there tonight sends a message, bro. That's something somebody has not done with Brock Lesnar. That's how you know this is different, bro. Because nobody has gone into a match with Brock Lesnar and completely targeted him saying, "You know what? I don't give a crap. I'm not afraid of you. Let's go. I don't care. Come out here. Let's go. I'm going to do everything to get you to come out here. I'm going to do everything to show you that I am more dominant than you." And that's exactly what Samoa Joe did here tonight. And this was just a segment that affirmed what we already knew. Samoa Joe is a fucking beast. Fuck Brock Lesnar and being the beast incarnate. Samoa Joe is a beast. And if you needed confirmation, you got it here tonight. Wonderful segment from Samoa Joe. Everything Samoa Joe does, from what he does in that microphone, what he does in that ring, the look he has on his face as he is cutting a promo, it is all done to the absolute tip-top perfection. And you have to applaud Samoa Joe for what he did in the middle of that ring tonight. I told you last night that the segment between Paul Heyman and Samoa Joe would be absolutely fantastic. That's just the beginning, bro. That's just the beginning. We got 5 more weeks of this. And to be honest, I'm going to soak it all up because the rumors are right now this is a one and done. And to be quite honest, these 5 next weeks, I'm just going to be soaking myself into these segments because they're going to be the best part of Monday Night Raw. And to be quite honest, that is something I am proud to say. So, Samoa Joe confirming himself as the legitimate beast. Let's move on here. After the break, Kurt Angle goes to Samoa Joe asking what's wrong with him. Samoa Joe puts his finger to Angle's lip and he says he will take anybody who gets in his way out asking Kurt Angle if he is getting in his way. That leads to an interesting confrontation. And I mean, if there's a guy Kurt Angle needs to step in the ring with, bro. If there's a guy I want to see Kurt Angle step in the ring with, coming out or getting in the ring for the first time since coming to WWE, it's Samoa Joe. There's rumors of it being Triple H. Why Triple H? We've seen that. We've seen that back when Kurt Angle was in his heyday. If there's somebody I want to see Kurt Angle get in the ring with, it is Samoa Joe. I mean, that confrontation was so goddamn interesting. But Seth Rollins comes in saying that he is in Samoa Joe's way. And last night, Joe beat Finn Balor, and he damn sure isn't Roman Reigns or that want-to-be Prophet Bray Wyatt. He's Seth freaking Rollins, and he tells it to you straight to your face, and he wants Joe tonight, is what Rollins said here. So Angle approves the idea, saying that Joe versus Rollins will happen tonight. So that is set up as your main event, and we will talk about that later on in the review. But we go to Cesaro and Sheamus versus Rhino and Heath Slater. This was decent, really just to proclaim Cesaro and Sheamus as dominant tag team champions. Sheamus and Cesaro win with Sheamus hitting a huge bro kick on Heath Slater as Cesaro held back Rhino's foot. What is important here is what they said after the match. Sheamus says that's how the intelligent team wins. They asked everyone if they are happy that the Hardy Boys came back. They say that they know that the Hardy Boys aren't happy that they came back and are probably sitting at home with Jeff gluing back his fake tooth and dreaming of getting their rematch. They say that the Hardys got to pick the stipulation for the match, and Sheamus and Cesaro still won, proving once again that they don't just set the bar, they are the bar. So that's what Sheamus and Cesaro have to say right there, and pretty interesting here. No Hardys here tonight, but we will see them next week, and I'm glad we're going to see Hardys here tonight, because after a steel cage match, there's no reason that the losers should be coming back the next night. So there you go. TJ Perkins talks to Neville about finally getting his Cruiserweight Championship match, with TJP saying that he worked for months alongside Neville to help solve this Austin Aries problem. Neville says that TJP is right, and he is a man of his word. So if TJP wins his match against Mustafa Ali here tonight, he will talk to Kurt Angle. Mustafa Ali versus TJP. This was a crappy-ass 2-minute Cruiserweight match that vested the interest of absolutely nobody when they could have gone 10 more minutes and proved what the Cruiserweights can do. Nope, that's not what happened. We saw this match go 2 minutes and nothing more. TJP won here after kicking down Ali from trying to go for the inverted 450 splash, picking him up and going for the detonation kick. So that's what happened here tonight. What was interesting was what happens after the match, because when Neville came out saying that he spoke to Kurt Angle about the championship shot and he said no, and that was obviously a lie. TJP, he then had the idea of going and talking to Angle with both of them, with Neville there and him there, which Neville took to offense, so he assaulted Perkins from behind, saying that if he wants his title match, he's got it tomorrow night on 205 Live. So 205 Live with something interesting going on there for the first time. Probably going to be a great match. Never seen Neville and TJ Perkins go at it. It's probably going to be a great match. Going to be interesting to see what they could do here. I'm wondering if after this TJ Perkins is going to be going back to being a face, which is something I believe absolutely nobody wants to see. TJ Perkins was a terrible face, at least on Monday Night Raw. He was great in the Cruiserweight division, but do you really trust Monday Night Raw to be able to book TJ Perkins like he was in the Cruiserweight division? I doubt he's winning the title tomorrow night on 205 Live, but I mean, that's another champion too, if you realize it. Another champion who's defending their championship twice in the proximity of 2 days, Yet Brock Lesnar will not defend his title for 90 days. That makes no sense to me. But, I mean, that's besides the point. And 205 Live tomorrow. If you want to watch it, which, I mean, go ahead. But 205 Live. There you go. Goldust has another promo here tonight saying that they call intimidation the sincerest form of flattery. But you can consider him smitten. He says that Goldust will shine bright. Some stuff about the stars being turned golden. It was just another cool promo. Just seeing Goldust there and how the old Goldust and his character and him oozing that confidence. I like it. I want to keep seeing this. It was a decent part of Monday Night Raw here tonight. The best part of Monday Night Raw last week, which goes to show you how terrible Monday Night Raw was last week. But we go to a segment with Alexa Bliss. She's talking to the women of Raw, as in Sasha Banks, Mickie James, and Dana Brooke. Sasha Banks just completely walked away, and James and Brooke stayed along and listened as Alexa tried to convince them that Nia is cutting through the line in the women's division, so they need to band together as a sisterhood, according to Alexa Bliss. They obviously take this as complete bullshit, saying that Nia Jax is Bliss's problem, and they will be ringside to watch Bliss deal with that problem. We go to a segment where Corey Graves was again pulled aside by Kurt Angle to discuss these texts they have been getting, and when Cole and Booker T asked him what it was about, when he returned to the announce desk, he brushed it off and started talking about Kalisto, who came out for his match before we went to commercial break. So they're obviously continuing this thing with the text that Kurt Angle is getting onto his phone, and it's interesting, bro. It's interesting wherever this goes. I really don't want to see it go towards the return of Stephanie McMahon, because Stephanie McMahon is an absolute nuisance to Monday Night Raw, and she just oozes what makes Monday Night Raw so goddamn terrible. So hopefully it is not Stephanie McMahon, but knowing Monday Night Raw and their creative team, this is a ploy to get Stephanie McMahon back into the WWE after being thrown through a table by Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So I don't know, and to be quite honest, considering the fact that it might be Stephanie McMahon, I don't care. But if it's somebody else, you have my interest. For now, I'm intrigued, but at the same time, I'm worried that it might just be the nuisance that is Stephanie McMahon. We go to Kurt Angle, who was interviewed after the break about what happened in his conversation with Corey Graves, and he just said that it was a private matter as he left the building to go somewhere. Where he went, beyond me, but Dean Ambrose actually snuck back in the building as the Revival was seen in the background talking. You had to have a keen eye for that one. I was actually surprised I caught that one. The one couple weeks ago with Sasha Banks and the Revival in the background, I didn't catch that one. But the Revival was in the background talking to each other, which I don't know if Wilder's or not Wilder, yeah, Dash Wilder. I don't know if his jaw is still a wired shot. I'm not sure, but that's going to be interesting to see. It's clearly the Revival, if you ask me, and we'll talk about that attacked Enzo and Cass over the past couple weeks, and we'll talk about that. But Kalisto versus Titus O'Neil here, absolute bullshit segment. It's another Titus brand garbage ass segment. Titus O'Neil tried to show Cruz how it's done here tonight with Kalisto grabbing the tights here tonight to beat Titus O'Neil. And this match was actually being watched by Akira Tozawa from the Cruiserweight division, who was considering joining the Titus brand here tonight. But I mean, what is there to join, bro? What is there to join? A pile of fucking losers, because WWE has absolutely nothing for Apollo Crews, who could be something very, very big on Monday Night Raw if presented the opportunity. But no, this is how you decide to book him. Absolutely garbage. I don't understand it. Miz was walking backstage when they cut to Big Cass. It was Big Cass who was taken out here tonight instead of Enzo, with a bunch of equipment on top of him. He handed Enzo a chain as the referee came to the attacked Big Cass, and this just confirms that it's not Big Cass who's been attacking Enzo, And if you ask me, it is the Revival who was seen prior. So it's pretty much confirmed that it was them. And then when we came back from commercial break, we see them helping Cass up, with Enzo wondering who would go into their match with Gallows and Anderson here tonight, which the referee suggested that Enzo find a new partner. And that led to probably one of the worst segments of the goddamn night. Jesus Christ, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But for now, let's go to one of the best segments of the night here tonight, which was this Miz segment. Maryse welcomed us to the biggest celebration in WWE history, and her husband, The Miz, she welcomed her husband, The Miz, who is a beautiful, sexy man. That's according to her, not me. So she welcomes her husband and Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. There was a teddy bear in the background with the congratulations sign, which I thought had to be goddamn Dean Ambrose. But the crowd chanted, "You deserve it," with Miz saying that chant would mean more if they didn't chant it to everyone, but he does deserve it. So Miz being an absolute heel there, absolutely wonderful heel there, but he recalls how he beat Dean Ambrose and won the Intercontinental Championship last night to restore glory to the Intercontinental Championship. Him and Maryse have a bottle of champagne, and that is when the paranoia strikes. Miz congratulates Maryse on the balloons and on the bear, which was in the ring. And Maryse said, "I didn't get that bear. Did you get that bear?" And he's like, "No, I didn't get that bear." And that led to Miz's paranoia here. Miz hilariously attacked the bear. Jesus Christ, that shit was hilarious. He attacked the bear, hitting it with a skull-crushing finale, bro, to reveal the bear as just some Joe Schmo, probably indie wrestler they got from Pennsylvania or wherever they find these guys. But he attacks the bear hilariously. Then a big present conveniently comes rolling down from Maryse, which Miz hilariously starts attacking. He starts dropping those Ric Flair, those Ric Flair elbow drops on the goddamn present, starts hitting it with the goddamn chair, bro. And Maryse is like, "Stop, stop, stop." And he reveals a grandfather clock. And she's like, "It's to show how timeless you are, Miz." And Miz just goes absolutely crazy. He's like, "Where the hell is Ambrose? Maryse, don't go." But I was just looking for Dean Ambrose. And Ambrose, he continues to ask where Ambrose is. And that's when a cameraman reveals his headset. He takes off the headset, takes off his hat, puts down the camera. And of course, it is Dean Ambrose, who Miz sees through the Titantron, turns around, dirty deed. So, very good segment there, and again, I think that segment is the peak of what you're going to get out of this rivalry. I say that I really don't think you could do more, especially going into the 5 weeks, bro. The 5 weeks till Great Balls of Fire. Say you have the Intercontinental Championship match next week. Elias Sampson screws over Dean Ambrose, attacks Dean Ambrose, and Miz goes into a rivalry with Austin Aries. So that's what I say you two there. But absolutely hilarious segment with Miz dropping those elbow drops, on the cardboard box, or the grandfather clock, bro. Jesus Christ. But we go to Gallows and Anderson versus Enzo Amore and his mystery partner, who I guessed it right before he came out, The Big Show. Jesus Christ, can you get any worse than that one? Oh my god, terrible goddamn segment. Enzo comes out saying he is a G, as in 4G, well connected. So he brings out a 7-foot tall giant in the Big Show. He says Big Show is looking a little thin, asking him if he is trying to join the Cruiserweight division. Jesus Christ. He said he has Big Show to loosen up, so Big Show does the big Cass gimmick, and I mean, he did it quite well. Terrible matchup. Gallows and Anderson looking terrible in this matchup. Hate to use the term, but again, buried if you're losing to the Big Show and Enzo and Cass. And I mean, who cares, bro? Who cares? You then see Big Show pick up Enzo, throw him on to Carl Anderson, 1, 2, 3, pinfall. Who cares? Not me. You then see a backstage segment after the commercial break. Enzo is walking, congratulating the Big Show, And a Big Cass, who was taped up, almost accused the Big Show of attacking both him and Enzo over the past couple of weeks. He's like, well, you haven't been around for the past couple of weeks, Big Show, and now I get hurt, and miraculously, bro, you want to be Enzo's tag team partner? But Enzo proposed that they all go out for drinks, and Big Show says, you know what, I'll stay behind. So there you go. Who cares? Not me. So Enzo and Cass, I'm still interested in seeing who attacked them. I'm still interested in seeing them go into a rivalry with the Revival, which is going to be nothing but interesting. I mean, the Revival is one of the most legitimate teams. They're as legitimate as you can get, if you ask me. So the Revival is back on Monday Night Raw. You did see them on the show here tonight in the background. So, I mean, the Revival is back. And, I mean, that has to be put into consideration. We see another edition of The Truth Be Told. Truth says that you can't handle the truth, because the truth is that he's coming for Goldust. He says that they were both friends, brothers, but now he means nothing more than a mean, bad mother. Shut your mouth. He says that it's his turn to turn his back on Goldust, because he's going to get got. Who cares? Not me. R-Truth going back to that old 2011 gimmick where he was just mean and everybody hated him. He was getting some nice heel heat. There was still some potential with R-Truth. Main evented pay-per-view Capital Punishment, if you remember that, with John Cena. So R-Truth was on the show here tonight. Who cares? Alexa Bliss is interviewed about her match here tonight, saying that she is tired of being stuck on a brand where the women's competitors either have no pride or are jealous of her, or both. That leads us to Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax, which, no doubt about it, was absolutely terrible. This match went about 3 minutes before Alexa Bliss went crawling towards Mickie James and Dana Brooke, who she intentionally hit to get herself DQ'd by attacking James and Brooke to retain the title. So, after the match, Alexa escaped Jax's grasp unharmed, but Nia Jax took her anger out on James and Brooke. She hit Dana Brooke with Samoan drop, and then Mickie James was on the receiving end of a clothesline in the corner. Who cares? Not me. If you're telling me you're going to go into Great Balls of Fire with Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss as your main rivalry, you can pass me the bleach right now. I say Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss. I say you go towards that. I mean, Sasha Banks isn't doing anything. She's the one woman with some type of momentum. I really wouldn't consider that thing she did with Noam Dar, Alicia Fox, and Rich Swann momentum, but she's the only one with some type of win. So I say you do it with Sasha Banks. I mean, there could be a good rivalry there. You build towards it in small doses. So, I mean, why don't you go with that? Because I don't want to see the awful matchup of Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. Those two styles are just two that I cannot see mixing up. We go to Paul Heyman, and he is getting checked up on, and Lesnar calls him, telling him that he thinks, or Paul Heyman tells Lesnar that he thinks it's time they unleash the beast on Raw, and that Samoa Joe, and instill that fear in Samoa Joe that he does not already have. So that's what Paul Heyman has to say to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar will be on Monday Night Raw next week. And that leads us to the main event matchup of Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. This was a decent match. And what boggles my mind is about this, that Rollins, he lost via a distraction. Bray Wyatt's thing played. And he lost via a distraction. The Bray Wyatt thing, Bray Wyatt never appeared. It's that the images that appear, that transition thing for Bray Wyatt to appear. He never appeared. Rollins was asking, where is he? Rollins was looking for him. That allowed Joe to lock in the Coquina clutch and pass Rollins out. And I don't like that one bit, bro. I don't like that one bit. You're telling me that Samoa Joe needs a distraction to beat Seth Rollins, meanwhile he's going into a match with Brock Lesnar? How does that look, bro? Samoa Joe should have won clean. He should have been able to pin Seth Rollins clean, and that was not the case, so I don't like that. Besides that, it was a decent match. Not as good as Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns, which I would have said is the best match on the show, just due to the fact that the crowd was fresh, it was exciting, and I mean, it was just overall a better match. Not very exciting what they did between Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins in that match here tonight, but that is your Monday Night Raw review. Samoa Joe looking like a dominant goddamn beast. Stood tall against Seth Rollins here, despite the fact that it took a distraction. I'm wondering here if Bray Wyatt is going to go into a feud with Seth Rollins. Is that where they're going? That'd be interesting, bro. That would be interesting, bro. But, I mean, then again, Bray Wyatt, is he really going to come out that feud the winner? Bray Wyatt needs to win some type of goddamn feud. I don't even know, bro. I thought they were going to go with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, but that doesn't look to be the case. No sight of Finn Balor here tonight. No sight of the Hardy Boys, but besides that, that's all the missing links here tonight. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is your Monday Night Raw review. If I had to give this show a rating, probably be a 5.5 out of 10, and that is a lot better than what Monday Night Raw usually gets. Still not good per se, but better than what Monday Night Raw usually gets. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is your Monday Night Raw review for the date of June 5th, 2017. I hope you enjoyed every single thing that you heard here, and if you did, make sure to like, make sure to comment what you thought of Monday Night Raw here tonight, and of course, make sure to subscribe. Lock that subscribe button in the COQUINA clutch for as long as you can. For now, make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Monday Night Raw review, Smackdown review, Behind the Mic on Saturday, and of course, Extreme Rules review and results. Of course, links for all those videos are down in the description. Make sure to go check out the Twitter account of the same name. For now, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. I hope you enjoyed your Monday Night Raw review here tonight. And for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video.